All right, we're going to welcome in Phil from Sacred Reich, bass player and singer. Hey, man, how you doing?
Good. I got a face for radio anyhow, so it's better this way.
There you go. Hey, listen, man, I'm just glad to see your face out there doing it again. I was just talking to Jenn Gottlieb, who's here with me, who was the Miss Box of Junk girl on that metal show.
Hi, Phil.
Right.
Haven't seen her in a few years. Mm-hmm. I think it's a few years actually since I've also seen you since Summer Breeze Festival in Germany.
Yeah, for sure. That was super fun.
Yeah, and I was really excited, man, because man, your career with this band has been, definitely had some ups and downs in it, and I was so happy to see you guys active again. And not only that, just, man, you got such a great response from the crowd that day, and I hope you felt like people really missed you guys.
Well, we started playing again in 2007, pretty much as a live band, and it's just been a lot of fun. It's always amazing to us that all these years later, 23 years without a record, that anyone remembers who we are and shows up. So we're really, really fortunate to have such killer people that are into us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're called metalheads. This is what Jenn and I were talking about earlier. They're so loyal, like they will follow you until the end, man, no matter what, and they never forget you. It's really amazing. I did this festival, the Epicenter Festival down in North Carolina, and I ran into Ricky Rackman from Headbangers Ball, and he says, even to this day, Headbangers went off the air in 95, and he said, even to this day, even with my short hair and that I haven't really done anything in the metal community in the last 20 years, that's still the thing I get recognized the most for is Headbangers Ball.
Yeah. We were talking about the fact that when we started was like 86, 87. And, when you're dealing with younger people, right, at an impressionable age, when you're that age, 16, 15, 18, music is such an integral part of your life. And if you can make kind of a little mark with people at a pivotal point in their life, it kind of sticks with them. So I think it has something to do with that.
Oh yeah, I agree. Every.
It's a great picture.
Yeah, and they're always, that's the other thing I love about this band. It's like, especially the earlier stuff, man. There was definitely a lot of political stuff in your lyrics and everything. But you guys always still had the humor. Like we played Surf Nicaragua earlier. But there was always humor in what you did. You guys never took yourselves too seriously.
Yeah, I mean, life's too important to be taken so seriously. And if we're not just having fun, we're just wasting our time anyhow.
Yeah.
So, we want to play the best music we can. We'd like to give people something to think about if we can. And we want everybody to have a good time because ultimately that's what this whole thing's about.
Yeah, and especially now, man, because everyone's trying to jam their beliefs down everybody's throat. And so sometimes the best way to do it is through humor, right? So that you're not trying to...
So.
If you don't push it down people's throat, they'll accept the message a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, too, is, when I'm talking to my kids, I say, whatever you believe 100% to be absolutely true, there's someone who believes the exact opposite to be 100% certain. And
those people are wrong.
Really tell anybody else? Who are we to tell anybody else? I mean, look, there's certain things we could probably agree on that are probably better than other things. But mostly, if we can try to find the commonality between us all, I think that's the thing that's mostly missing. There's just a lot of anger and there's a lot of choosing sides instead of pulling back and seeing a bigger picture.
Yeah.
But even people who hold beliefs that we may not agree with probably also hold some beliefs that we do agree with. So if we can find the stuff we have in common, I think we'll all be better off.
And amazing, dude, that, the interesting thing about your band is where a lot of bands got swallowed up by the grunge movement, you guys kept going through the 90s. It was the early 2000s where you guys sort of took a break, so that I give you a lot of credit. Most bands said, oh, forget it. We can't compete with Nirvana and Soundgarden and everything. You guys kept going, but then the early 2000s, you kind of had a lull there.
Yeah. Well, if you look and you just see things are running its course and you take things as they are and you say, we had a good run and it was cool. And now it's time to just do something else. Things change, life changes. You just kind of go with it. We're really excited. I mean, right now it's pretty amazing that we made our first record in 23 years. We have Dave McClain back in the band. He played on Independent and Heel, and he spent 23 years in Machine Head. And to have him back in the band is pretty amazing. He's an incredible drummer and such a great guy. And when we split with our drummer Greg and I spoke with Dave, he said something that really hit me. And he said, I always hope there'd be a time that I could be back in Sacred Reich again. And it just meant so much and just showed how much he really likes and cares about the band. He said he's always been a fan,
Yeah.
So it's really special.
Yeah, because I think he did, with Machine Head, he lost that sense of joy and that sense of fun that you guys, have been able to hold on to. And, no disrespect to Greg Hall, because he's a terrific guy and a great drummer. But, having Dave come back after all, that's like, the Yankees adding A-Rod, man. So, give us a little sense of having him back in and doing this new record with him and performing live with him.
Well, it's funny because when we were in the studio recording, Wiley, our guitar player, goes, I remember how good Dave was, but man, he got so much better. I go, dude, he's been gone 23 years, making records and touring all over the world. He's been very busy, and he practices all the time. He's pretty serious about what he does. He takes it seriously. He puts in the work. He runs every day, stays in shape. It's really important to him, to be the best that he can. And it really shows. It's really inspiring. And playing with him, and he's just so solid and right there and has such a great attitude and just smiling and brings such a great energy to the band. It's really what we need. It's been reinvigorating in many ways.
Yeah. And we're going to play a clip from your new video, Awakening. But for people who are new to you guys, because like I said, there was a lull for a while. Maybe people don't know you've been active for the last several years. People new to Sacred Reich. Sacred Reich equals what plus what?
Well, I don't know. Like when we were growing up, the two main influences were Metallica and Slayer. That was it. Like, lyrically, it was always more like Corrosion, DRI, and MDC. I always like those kind of bands lyrically. But musically, like the two big ones were always Metallica and Slayer. And not that we sound like that, but I think it's just metal. We just sound like a metal band. I don't really know. We're from Phoenix. We're not part of the Bay Area scene or the New York hardcore scene or, for the pluses of it allowing us to have our own kind of thing, and the negatives maybe not having the exposure of being attached to something a little bit bigger. It just kind of is what it was,
Right, but sorry, man. I was going to say, speaking of Metallica, we'll bring it full circle. One of your earliest supporters was Jason Newsted.
Yeah, like when he was in Flotsam, they were a Big Brother band.
Yeah.
And Jason did so much for us. He wrote our first bio. He gave us a mailing list of all the fanzines in Europe that we could send our demos to. We always told Metal Blade and Brian about us. He would do interviews and put our demos on the other side, send them out. He was always a champion of the band. And when he left, I actually played a couple shows with them at the Country Club in Reseda. They had some shows booked. So I played with him for a little while. So Jason was always such a big supporter and such a big fan of the band, and helped us out and gave us so much confidence at a pivotal time in our young career.
Yeah, I mean, the old school, right? Putting up the flyers, word of mouth, people recommending each other to the next person. But, now we have social media, and it's kind of a good thing. Where can everybody find Sacred Reich, your tour dates, the new single, the new album, all that stuff?
Sure. So like on Facebook, we're at Sacred Reich Official. Instagram, it's Sacred Reich Official. Right now, if you go to metalblade.com, there's like all the killer pre-order stuff. They did a really cool box set bundles, like 7 killer different vinyl stuff. The video's there. The video for Awakening's up on YouTube.